Hello, good evening, and welcome to Monkeys with Fire. How is everybody tonight? Hope you're all well. Hope you had a good weekend. So then, we, over the last couple of weeks, been taking a look at a variety of Mörk Borg-compatible RPGs. And we've been having a lot of fun with those, and we actually had a viewer ask if we would be taking a look at a particular game that, again, was Mörk Borg compatible. So I reached out to the development team, and they very graciously provided a copy for us to take a look at this evening. So on tonight's show, we are going to be taking a look at Farewell to Arms from Rivethead Games. Now, we're going to be specifically looking at the collector's box set. This is something we don't ordinarily get to do. We typically look at the standard editions of game releases. So this is going to be a real treat as we can sort of dive into this box and look at all the wonderful items that are contained within. So my thanks again to Rivethead Games for providing a copy of Farewell to Arms, the collector's box set, for us to enjoy tonight. If you do have any questions about the game, please do put them into the chat or leave a comment, and I will do my best to answer them for you. All right, let's jump on in. Good evening, Roger. How are you? Been a while? Hope you're well. Right, so here we go. Farewell to Arms. Now, as you can see, we've got this wonderful box with this nice, shiny and matte cover to it, giving you a little bit of a hint of the theme of the game, but we'll go into more detail on it. I'm just going to sort of work my way around it here, so you can see how wonderfully produced this is. It's really, really nice. Oh my goodness. Until that last day when all shall fade to dust and the land's made whole. Until the farewell to arms. And we do have bit of text on the back here. Farewell to Arms Redux, a shell-shocked, blackened warpunk RPG where trench raids and poison gas are the norm. Take the war to the skies or drown your enemies in the sea. Pilot metal machine crawlers while dodging deadly landmines and artillery fire. Whatever you do, you're unlikely to survive. It's a Mörk War. Farewell to Arms is a self-contained, rules-light, war-sodden tabletop role-playing game based on and compatible with Mörk Borg. Easy to play, impossible to survive. The dying lands are locked in the greatest conflict ever known. What they thought would be a petty squabble for territory has turned into outright butchery of the earth, a race to conquer the newly found resource, Slagvara. But the dying lands are not complacent in their murder. Mountains move, rivers bloat and shift, trees swell and extend their reach. The world is fighting back. You'll be one of the many scum. I want to say scum, but it's with a V. I think scum is probably the way to say it. So scum on the front lines, fighting for a cause that you don't even understand or believe in. Inside are rules for creating individual characters, raiding trenches, allocating resources as a squad of troops, and surviving the brutality of endless, pointless war. So, there we go. And it does detail all the components within, but we'll be taking a look at that. So, what a great start. This is awesome. Let's dive on in. You're doing good. You've been busy with work for the last couple of weeks. Yes, I know that feeling. Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll place this over here. We've got that there. And I'll I'll place everything over here. We're going to look at the book first. We'll flick through that, but we're going to have to sort of unpack a little bit. It's quite full and heavy, but we can already sort of bit of a tease on some of these items. We got some books here. There are 4 of them. Some interesting black and white art. Oh, there's a tank on the front here. Ships and planes. And some, looks like some zeppelins. Okay, we'll place those just here. Oh, look. I shouldn't get too excited. Whoa, we got stickers. That's got to come along with a map, I'm sure of it. Okay, I'm liking those already. Some postcards. Oh, are these for... Yes, these are for the different factions. Ah, okay. I have done a little bit of reading on the game in advance, but I wanted to open it up with you guys so you got to see it at the same time that I have. Oh my goodness, so that's like a zeppelin but with a dragon's head. I got the impression it was a little bit like a sort of Norse boat, longboat, but it's not. I think it is a zeppelin, isn't it? Dropping bombs. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Let's place those just there. So we have the book. Is it going to be easier to take it? Yep, there we go. We'll put the book just there. Let's keep looking inside. Okay, so what's this? It's a... okay. So this is an easy to read, because of course that's the thing with Mörk Borg, isn't it? We're going to have that cacophony of fonts to deal with. So yes, okay. We've got some easy rules here. What's on the back? Okay, these are solo rules. Alone in the Mörk. You've been hired by the Lord of War, Turgol. Ah, is this all? I think this is all solo rules. Okay, that's cool. I don't know if we've seen a Mörk Borg game that actually had solo rules, but this is a first, maybe. Just, oh, here we go. There's got to be a map, hasn't it? I said we were going to start with the book, but I'm getting excited just looking at all this. Oh, yes. Here we go. So... Galgenbeck. Merland. Onda. Grit. See, this is, of course, this is the real test, isn't it? It's like, how well do I do being able to read all these different fonts? Some of the games I do okay, others less so. I think this is a version showing the various factions. And I guess this is where we could put on our stickers, couldn't we? Alright, that's cool. Let's put that to one side over here. And then, right at the bottom here, we have a pad for our character sheets. A fair few here. As we know, in any of these Mörk Borg-compatible games, your characters are quite squishy. Don't expect them to survive. And then this is a squad sheet. So we'll learn about that as we go through the book. Awesome. All right, let me make a little bit of room here. Let's actually put that there, put that just there. That's really cool. Lots of great stuff. So then, let's take a look. Now, of course, as you can see, this is the collector's edition, but of course the core rules are available on the Rivethead Games website. You can purchase just these, and with other style of Mörk Borg games, you can get a digital copy of just purely the rules to download, which of course is always really handy. The book itself has got that soft touch feel that these Mörk Borg-compatible games all seem to have, which I really like. But I can feel the it's what is it? It's not embossed. It's engraved, effectively, isn't it? The text here, as is the image. Some of the text is raised out here. So this is all very nice. And yeah, this is nice quality. Actually, the paper stock is it's really quite dense. Is there? Sometimes they make a note, don't they, of the style of paper that is used. But this is actually really thick paper. This is quality. This is going to stand up to a lot of reading. That's nice, yeah. And the insides here, we've got this matte finish, but actually the main book, slight gloss, so we're going to get a little bit of a light reflection here, as we sometimes do. Nothing much we can do about that, unfortunately. But this is really nice, and of course we've got a ribbon bookmark in here as well. All right. Let's jump on in. So, as is typical on the inside pages, we do have some roll tables and a clean version of some of the rules, so it's easy for us to be able to see the important points when playing the game. What have we got here, though? Because, of course, every game is slightly different and involves new features to its unique setting. So we've got combat and rests. Our initiative. We've got weapons and armor. Melee, two-handed, aiming. Of course, within this particular setting, we have various ballistic weapons. So we've got, handguns and rifles, and I think there's even a rocket launcher in here. Cover, different types of armor. Let's jump to the back. Contents. That's good. That's good. Don't always get a contents page with these games. We got rules for shock and gas. D100 nicknames. Come on, Roger, give me a number 1 to 100. We've got various results if we suffer from shock or from gas. We'll go into more detail on that as we go through. There's definitely some interesting ones to be found. That's kind of one of the unfortunate things about Mörk Borg style of games, isn't it? But actually, part of the fun is that of the many different ways that your character can meet their demise. They're never nice. 64, he says. Brain. Okay. First of all, I thought it said Brian. Hey, you know, you know what I'm like. So we have our credits page. As it says, this book is a sequel hack to Mörk Borg. While that book is not required to play Farewell to Arms Redux, we suggest familiarising yourself with the rules and the lore. You can find a text version at mörkborg.com. And so if you are familiar with Mörk Borg, you will of course already recognized the locations within the map that we just took a brief look at. Never think that war, no matter how necessary nor how justified, is not a crime. Ernest Hemingway. Rule 0, Statement of Absolution. Like the foul commands you are issued, feel free to disregard every rule in this book, save this one. War is never to be glorified. This book is in no way to be used for reenactment or analogue for the very real atrocities that occur in our world every day. That's very true. Please be aware this game contains topics of violence, trauma, and mental health. Yes, war is something that we romanticize a lot in our entertainment, our fiction, our games, movies and TV shows, but it is something that we should do our best to avoid as much as possible. Okay, so as we might come to expect in a Mörk Borg style of game, we're going to have wonderful artwork throughout, with, as I say, the all variety of different fonts. I think there should be a tally, maybe at the beginning of these books, that tell us how many fonts are actually in use, because, yes. Initially, it starts off telling us a little bit of the history. So, Mörk Borg, as I'm sure you'll remember, is essentially a grimdark medieval setting. Shields and swords and a little bit of magic. And what Farewell to Arms does is essentially take that world and bring it into what would be the equivalent of our early 20th century. So we are in a setting of effectively the First Great War. So as you already alluded to, we have trenches, we have gas, poison gas, and you know that the Mörk Borg is all about essentially the end of days, and of course, you know, for those in that particular war, I'm sure it seemed like that was the case. So setting-wise, we're dealing with lands that we've already sort of experienced in Mörk Borg, but into the sort of the future. And it goes through, it takes the different factions, but takes them into this future setting, and explains what essentially started the war. And it's about this natural resource called slagvara. And this has properties that are useful, and ultimately all the different factions essentially want it. And it's less about the actual reserves that they found on their own land. They just wanted more and more of it. And the war just started from there and just kept on rolling, to a point now that no one remembers really why the war sort of started, or what the initial sort of opening salvos were. Everyone's just fighting for just a little bit of a couple of inches of land in the sort of the no man's land that divide the various trenches up. And of course, millions and millions of people are dying within this war that's just constantly raging. Now, it says that the slagvara, so here we go, silver has become secondary to slagvara in all of its forms: oily earth blood, vaporous ghost breath, and crystalline stone heart. What might have elevated culture and birthed enlightenment in the gloomy twilight of time instead fuels the machinations of war and mass murder. So it really is a war over resources, isn't it? We have the section on the world. We had a quick scan of the map of the various regions, and it breaks them down here. So what do we have? Rivercrest, Treeswell, Merland, Newfield, Mount Mount Font, and Icefell. And those are broken down further to different regions. These are all within the Dying Lands, and again, if you have played Mörk Borg, many of these will be familiar. So we have the city of Galgenbeck. And this is where we introduce the various factions. And we've got, as it said, the different places of interest within each of these regions. This is River Crest. From the northern endless sea, past the bridges of Myr, lands that were once ploughed into oblivion were again given new life. As the enormous river slithered into its new home across the land, the river crest rose up around it. Swamplands drowned the south of Galgenbeck, its great stone walls sinking ever deeper into the muck. Extreme danger in all of its forms lurks these waters. Of course, everything is very, very dark and depressing. King Sigfum and the Beggars of Death. So I think, yes, so we've looked at, so that is, oh gosh, Josilfa, Migol, and her Faith Spire. So each region has a principal character, a lord or a lady. So a little bit of history. And then looking at the region itself, and then we do have their sort of banner. So with the first bloom rose the waters of Rivercrest. The great bridges of Myr were all washed away save one, submerging the island in knee-deep water. Mother of Rivercrest, the sunken home of respite for the scum of the dying lands, has gone the way of all the earth, change ushered in sink and desperation. A great heart of fire burns at her core, eternally fueled by her deposits of liquid slag, never ending and reaching to the heavens. Its seemingly endless shores of sand have rapidly dissolved into torrents of seawater, slick with slag oil. Thus far, none have claimed her shores. Yeah, it's very depressing. I'm really loving the art, and this is really, really good. I'm taking it, of course, that they've taken imagery, archival imagery from First World War, and of course edited it according to what they required here. Horses with gas masks, of course. So this is King Fafmux and the Mad Mists. And it's obviously giving us all little bits of lore. This is Mount Font. Various regions there. So this seems to be more a gas-orientated usage of the Slagvara. This is the white, so Countess Anthelia and the White Crowns. Again, you never quite know what sort of art is going to be in the next double page. The styles jump all over the place, but that's the beauty of these games. I really like it. So this is obviously an icy region. Must be far in the north, I guess. Icefell. And then this is Tree Swell. What do we have here? Gore Wood. Named for the cannibals living there, the Gore do not abide outsiders. Victims are flayed and pinned to the trees for communal feasting before their bones are grafted into limb and bough. Finger-like branches reach out to trap the unfortunate passerby. Perhaps they reach for salvation. Yeah, not nice. Not nice at all. As if it's not bad enough that a war is waging around you, that you've got to worry about the trees. Now this is interesting. So, Vex has come for recompense. An unseen power thunders beneath the land. Its back is the highest mountain, its blood the river waters. The trees speak to it, the ice blankets it. All laying eyes on it have vanished from the world. And it is angry. So this, Vex, is essentially a kind of a demon that lives or beneath the land. And as this war has been raging on the surface, it's become more and more powerful. And it has started to rise up in different regions to basically claim all of those that are fighting and the dead. And all these Mörk Borg style of games have some kind of countdown clock. And this basically, as you play the game, your characters may be rewarded with slagvara. So as your group gets more and more slag, and they can use it for various advantages within your game, at the end of a mission, you roll a d20 minus the total slag expended. On a result of 1 or below, Vex appears. So this is the countdown clock. The better that you do in your missions and the more that you succeed with, then the more slag that you will get and potentially use. And of course, that will then determine whether Vex comes to finish everybody off. And we've got a variety of different sort of endings. So, Roger, do you want to give us a number? 1 to 12? Let's see how our world might end. I think this is an interesting and different way of concluding the game. As I said right at the start, and as players of Mörk Borg are very familiar with, your characters are not expected to survive. So this is just part and parcel of the experience, isn't it? A gruesome death for everybody. I should have got some dice together, shouldn't I? Unfortunately, been a little bit of a hectic day. There's some nice ones here. I really love the creativity that goes into these games. When you know that the rules are essentially the same from game to game, what makes the difference, of course, is the wonderful artwork and the creativity there, but then also the imagination that goes into creating a unique world for your players to explore. 8, you say? A sudden rushing of waters as a river from unknown parts rages through the battlefield. Its frothing waves are the slavering mouth of Vex themselves. So there we go. We're going to be consumed by a great tsunami. I can imagine that many will be thankful of a swift end. So we then have, what do we have? We have a couple of extra sort of factions, players here. She, the Shadow King. Is that Hunger Wound? And, oh gosh, Turgol? Let's go with Turgol. Let's take a look at She. Who is She? She has known it would come to this for quite some time. She welcomes it. To her, all reality is a lie, hence why she cast out Verhu from the highest peak of her crypt. She and her followers move to amass slag from one super weapon. or for one super weapon, a technology that only she knows, the magic of, oh gosh, I really do pick the hard ones, the magic of ontological fission. She will end the world, erase the lie of existence from every memory, burn every soul to ash, and unravel the very concept of time into fragments of stardust amidst the unborn cosmos. Okay. So it would look like somebody is developing some kind of... well, I mean, I'm going to take the mushroom cloud as a bit of a hint. So, yes, these are other factions that are in play. Again, this is the great thing about these games, is they just give you lots of ideas for the GM to pull from, and then for them to create their own sort of game from that. So, this first section is all about setting up the world in which we're going to play. We're now into the player's guide itself. And as I say, if you've played Mörk Borg, then a lot of this will be familiar. But of course, this is what's going to be unique. So this is enlisting your grunt. Start by choosing or randomizing a class. Determine your reason for enlistment. Battle scars and vices. Roll your stats. Roll hit points, omens, powers, and ammo. Roll your firearm, your sidearm, and armor. Roll your starting shit. Suffer D2 starting shock. And determine your nickname. Alright, come on, Roger. Let's see if we can make up a little bit of a character on the fly. I need a number between 1 to 20. And let's go with another one as well. Let me find something else to get a number from you. How about... oh, and then another 1 to 20. Is that a 6? I think it is. So our reasons for enlistment. You desire wanton, bloody, terrifying hedonism. Okay. But whatever. Killing is your business and business is good. There was one here that made me laugh. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Number 10. Being the oldest, your mother signed the papers for you. Is that sort of saying she was just trying to get rid of you and sent you to war? I mean, that's pretty horrific. 15 for later on. Okay, well, we'll remember that 15. So we basically want wanton, bloody, terrifying hedonism. So that's our reason for enlisting. Let's take a look at the different archetypes. Let's see if we can find one that might be suitable. We got the grizzled veteran. We of course have some of our modifiers here. What do we have? Our HP is D10 plus toughness. Our omens are D2. We got 2 D6 times 10 silver. Ammo's D3. And shocked. Roll 3d6 plus 2 for toughness. Clumsy, roll 3d6 plus 2 for agility. Roll d10 for firearms and d6 for armor. Ah, what was your last combat experience? Well, this is interesting, so we can actually personalize our character a little bit. Let's have a number between 1 and 6. We'll just do this as an example. Four. Oh, we were court-martialed for insubordination, but your talents were too valuable to let go. So just, yeah, we're just really, really good. That's cool, I like that. We got the expendable sapper. we'll run through these relatively quickly and see which one you might want to go for. The Recluse Marksman. Oh, this is interesting. The shot you are best known for. Oh, we got to do this one. Again, a number from 1 to 6, please. I think the marksman might be a popular character archetype. 3. Assassinating a key enemy officer. You crawled on your belly for days to remain undetected. That's cool. I like these little sort of character flavors that you can add. A homesick rifleman. The chronically cursed chaplain. The arcane medic. And yes, there is quite some gruesome imagery here. But then, war is not pleasant, right? Altered mercenary. Okay. Some consider it a blessing, others find it a cruel revenge of the dying lands as destruction ravages the face of the earth. Wild folk, the slag-cursed beasts of no nation. These are but a few, pejoratives muttered under the breath of those who despise your altered existence. As misunderstood outcasts, altered mercenaries wander until someone claims them. So this is interesting. And I like this. This is reminds me of that Sega video game, Altered Beast. So, yes, because of the powers of the Slagvara, we've got a number of humanoid beasts. What do we have? Oh gosh, does it say? We've got kind of a winged, a falchion winged, a hyena throated, croc-toothed, congoose tusked. That's an interesting addition. A unit of altered beast mercenaries. That actually could be quite interesting. Kind of a bad batch. These are the ones, the sort of cannon fodder that you send on in. That could make an interesting little game. Oh gosh, what's this? So this is a pale one. Is that sometimes I have to look at the screen because it's easier to read. Where the fonts just trick me. I can't read this one. Is that a double D? EM Embedded one. Hello, Andy. Yes, it is. There we go. You've got the... Yes, I thought there was a B there. Yeah, embedded one. So, like all pale ones, sent by your kin to observe and participate in the dying land's war. You are out of your place and time. Your squad views you with varying levels of contempt, fascination, and distrust. What mysteries of these primitive beasts will you solve? Oh, so this is kind of somebody from a different space and time. That's very different. Very different. Radiant Bannerman. Let's have a number between 1 and 6 again, if you please. So this makes me think of the Sisters of Mercy, only because of the artwork. But then we got the Vampiric Garnet. Your flesh blocks damage naturally as though wearing that armor tier. So, are we vampire? Feral application of corpse paint as your broken fingernails claw at your flesh. Oh gosh. Yeah, I think we're a vampire. Deus est mortus. Are we the Walking Dead? I don't think we're a zombie, but I think we're undead. Then raise the coloured standard high, within its shade we'll live and die. Though cowards flinch and traitors sneer, we'll keep our banner flying here. And then a new world engineer. Obsessed with progress and the potential applications of Slagvara, you scoff at the old ways and embrace the industrial age of enlightenment, seeking to immortalize yourself through your creations. I think, is this the last one? Or is it? No, there's two more. The Despondent Interpreter. History is written by the victors, but promotions are written by the scribes who bear witness to battle. Some say the pen is mightier than the sword. With a single stroke, the tide of war can be forever influenced. Keep your head down and your inkwell full. So it's kind of, yes, battlefield reporter. Oh, that's really interesting. Very different. So there's a bit of an eclectic mix of archetypes. Sadistic soldier. This might match the reason we joined, we enlisted in the first place. So that is the last, I believe. Yep, that's the last. Roger and Andy, if you joined us for all 12 archetypes, was there a particular one that stood out, that you enjoyed, that you might want to play? Again, thinking in this sort of First World War setting, I think actually this interpreter would be interesting. But I'm quite partial to some kind of battlefield vampire. I think that could be really interesting. You know, you're able to take out enemy troops. Most of the time you're doing so with your rifle or your swords, and every now and again you have to feed. But then also these altered mercenaries. Again, I think a squad of these would be really, really good fun. The homesick guy seems the most World War One-ish. Yes, yes. You definitely, when you look at this, I'm thinking of course, some young lad who's far too young to be participating in a war. Yeah. Yes. That's definitely the closest to our world, isn't it? Okay. Keep going. So we had our... Oh, we got battle scars. So I need a number between 11 and 66. What battle scar? Because we've already experienced some combat. What have we lost? Most of the characters are disfigured, aren't they, in Mörk Borg style of games? They're not the most attractive. So between 11 and 66. 53, says Roger. So we have an arrow lodged in our femoral artery. Tickles to the touch. But there's some really nasty ones in here. A stab wound that never heals, stuffed with gauze. A ripped throat from an attempted assassination. A bite mark from something inhuman. Yes, it's got to be vampires, hasn't it? Razor wire embedded in arm. Nasty stuff. And you said vices. So what are we suffering from? A 15. So we don a gas mask for no reason. This is what has happened to us. We can take slag but it's highly addictive. And oh gosh, so we get withdrawals from it. Yes, not good. So there must be a section that talks about the benefits of slag if we're going to see the withdrawals. To add D2 new effects in order. Without caving to the craving. Where's the benefits of slag? I don't think I passed that by. Maybe we'll come back to that. So this, of course, is going through the actual rules, creating up your character, your toughness, agility, presence, and strength. Again, if you are familiar with Mörk Borg, you'll instantly recognize this section. A little bit of detail on promotions should we survive our mission. And here we go. If we do get a merit, roll a 6, we gain a piece of slagvara. As it said right at the beginning, slagvara is more valuable than silver. This is pretty much why we are fighting. Hit points and death. Omens. So all grunts have a number of omens allocated to their class. On a grey new dawn, only after all omens have been expended, regain all spent omens. What can we do? We can deal maximum damage with an attack, re-roll a dice roll, lower damage dealt to you by d6, neutralize a crit or fumble, and lower one test's DR by -4. They're just little boons, aren't they? We got powers. Here we go. The discovery of slagvara gave rise to the rapid evolution of murder tools. Not to be outdone, the mystic arts and the occult powers of dark places followed quickly by developing war scrolls. Oh my goodness. Okay. Give me a number between 1 and 20. Let's find out what war scroll we might have. Again, I'm really enjoying all the eclectic art that is in each of these pages. You never quite know what you're going to turn to. And it's very different on every page. War scrolls, that's cool. But of course, this is sort of, as it says, a sequel hack. It is taking the world of Mörk Borg into a future, so there was magic in the original game. Number 2, you say, bite the bullet. A target already wounded by a firearm takes that same firearm damage again as the bullet grows teeth and gnaws its way out of them. Love it. Oh my goodness, that's pretty bad. Okay, so here we go. We have our various firearms, pistols, sniper rifles. Yeah, we do. We have the boom lance, rocket launcher, shotguns, shell cannon, Sidearms, grenades, a fire spear. Rules, here we go. So in melee, firearms cannot be reloaded. And it's a +2 to the difficulty rating to fire if you are in melee, because of course you're preoccupied. You can aim, which reduces your difficulty rating by 2. And adds +2 to damage, because of course you're hopefully aiming at some vulnerable spots, so that's worth doing. It does, you have to spend a round to aim. Various keywords, spoils of war. We've got our armour, but we've also got cover. There's definitely we'll be looking for cover. Oh, this is cool. Grab your shit. So what we got? Things to carry shit, combat readiness shit, and personal shit. I think that I've definitely maxed the channel's quantity of shit in this stream. So here we go. This is shock. So let's just imagine that we can roll a d12 on this. That's not quite how it works, but just give me a number between 1 and 12 to see what level of shock our character is suffering from. Now, of course, you know, this really shouldn't be trivialized. War, of course, you know, is a terrible thing, isn't it? So, 10. Confusion. Attack your nearest comrade with your strongest weapon. Yep. And this, so when you receive shock, you test your toughness. Difficulty rating 14. On a failure, add D4 to your current shock and immediately resolve the new. So essentially these build up upon one another. So when you get to 12, end game, you fall dead where you stand. Because of course the experiences and the things that you've seen around you, yeah, you just can't take it anymore. So our 10 wouldn't have done well, but we start with the shakes and then primal fear and blind fire and despair and dark thoughts. Yeah, it is yeah, it's all bad. It's all bad. There we go. We got our nicknames. Brian. Forever I want it to be Brian. Oh gosh. Occult accidents. So... oh gosh. Book of Threefold Law, a testament to the great and horrible that should befall those who practice without caution. So this, I think I saw this. This is when you try and do a spell and it goes all wrong. Do you want to give me a number between 1 and 20? Let's see how things might go terrible for us. Again, they're all pretty gruesome. 10 again, you say. Your soul is torn, taking the use of one of your limbs with it. Whenever your shock reaches 4 or more, it stops working. Gosh. Oh, okay. So that could be your arm just stops working, your leg. That's pretty bad. But there is some... number 17, a dark presence haunts your waking mind, crucifying you repeatedly. Not good, not good. We got cost for weapons and for items. And then we've got the rules. on engaging the enemy. Initiative, melee, range and defense, crits and fumbles, resting and enemy reactions and morale. I'm going to have to blast through this a little bit. So that essentially then is the end of the player's guide. We then get to the GM guide. And I thought this is an interesting addition to the games. There's sort of two sections here, the diplomacy and warlord phases of play. And let me just quickly go through this. So, and actually, this is a nice summary, so it's nice and easy to read out. So, Farewell to Arms Redux is comprised of 3 distinct, fully role-played phases. Diplomacy phase, Warlord phase, and the missions. In the Diplomacy phase, players take on the role of diplomats, enjoining a rival faction to aid or neutrally consult in an upcoming mission. Success or failure determines on the grounds twists that will alter the difficulty of your battles. In the Warlord phase, players are now Warlords, the upper echelon of armed forces leadership. Each Warlord has a special Warlord order, a once-per-mission special ability that can turn the tides of battle. Players will then, as a squad, order requisitions that will best aid them on the ground. The missions are tactical level sessions where players act as grunts in a squad, fighting for slag, territory and their lives in brutal ranged and melee combat. If they survive, they may be promoted to the Warlord before eventually retiring to live the diplomat's life. So I thought this is really interesting. This is a new way of sort of playing the game. And I definitely enjoyed the diplomatic sort of phase. Players are diplomats enjoining a rival diplomat. Yep. Okay. Each player may ask questions of the rival. The GM then determines whether the questions asked resonate with the rival. The rival answers any questions accordingly. The players must determine on their own whether the rival's answers are truthful, half-truths, lies, or non-answers. Rival answers secretly build points towards swaying the rival. So what happens? Assign a diplomat rating to the rival, appropriate to the squad size. After all questions are asked, determine if the players have swayed them. If successful, the next mission will always include Twist 6. And it does go into that. If unsuccessful, the next mission will always include Twist 5. So I thought this was interesting. So here you go. Example. A secretive grift rival interested in cold hard silver and who fears defeat must be convinced to aid in the assault at at a location. If successful, their ship will only bombard Galgalenbeck grunts due to Twist 6. If foiled, their ships will bombard the entire mission area indiscriminately, according to Twist 5. So we essentially roll to get the mood, the fears, and the interests, and then it's between the players and the GM to try and work out what this rival diplomat is after. And if we get close to if it's true, we get 3 points. Half-truths, 1 point. Non-answers are 0, and a lie is minus 2 points. So, and then assign a diplomat rating. So where do we get... Now I think there's an example of... I think it's in the missions themselves. I'm jumping to the back here. Quickly look. Because there we go. We got the example of the twists. So if we are successful, then it's Twist 5. If we're unsuccessful, it's Twist 6, isn't it? But I thought this was a nice little addition. It kind of reminded me of, and again with the Warlord sort of phase. Oh gosh, there was a game I played where doing things outside of the game would make that particular mission either easier or harder, depending on how you did with other aspects. So I like this. I think this is a cool idea. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And then we have the Warlord phase. So this is where you can get additional requisitions. And this details how the slag is used as well, which of course is important for the ending of the world condition that we looked at right at the beginning. What do we got here? Recruits. So these are different NPCs. I'm going to have to speed through this a little bit. Oh gosh, here we go. We have rules for gas attacks. And then, of course, rules for fighting in the trenches and dealing with no man's land in between. And this is slightly more advanced rules for no man's land. We have the map with the various factions that we already took a look at, but we'll take a look at it again. Randomizing, creating enemy grunts. Creating enemy squads. Leaders. Heavy machinery. So these are various. We've got a gas lobber, land crusher, sky crawler. And then we've got some faction enemies. This is the White Crown Special Forces with rocket packs. So it's a little bit like Rocketeer. World War I Rocketeer. And then this is a breakdown of how missions are actually presented. And there are 3 missions in the game here. And then we get to some tables here for rolling, for randomizing different missions, adding different twists, different locations, times, defenses, what the weather's like, squad leaders, squad size, and then we already saw on the back our contents. So that's a very, very quick look through. I do want to just look at these books here, because I'm right. These are collections of mission books for the various factions. So this is Ironheart of the Faith Spire. Single-manned mobile weapons platform. So you get a special element. And then... oh gosh, we got tanks. We got tanks. But then we have a variety of different missions. We got our briefing. There's actually quite a few to each of these books. Now, I believe you can get these separately. Gore in the gore, yes. Good evening, M. Welcome. Thanks for joining. We've just been looking through Farewell to Arms Redux. This is the collector's set. We're just taking a look at one of the expanded mission books for one of the factions. There's quite a few missions here. So there's a lot to choose from. I just want to look at what the different additional faction weapons or coffin corpse. Oh my goodness. So these are, mad mists who have fought for Fafmu X and turned to gas. Their souls have undergone the re-embodiment process. Incapable of speech, their splintered psyches scream in agony, muffled by the heavy armour they are bound to. Tormented by an existence between life and death, the coffin corpse express their madness in one way: gas. Oh my goodness! Oh, this is a little bit. What about the zombie stormtroopers in one of those Star Wars shows? That's essentially what it is, isn't it? But it's gas. It feels near enough like it should be in Doctor Who. You see, this is where it's World War, but there's that sort of supernatural element to it as well. And what do we have here? It's like a great cannon, isn't it? And again, we got a selection of missions. That's cool. These are very good. I like these. The singed are baptized in the rivers of fire that run from the pyre. Their suffering immortalized by eternal immolation in the service of their king. Becoming a singed is considered one of the highest honours of service among the beggars of death. Constant flames cover their nakedness, as anything they touch is destroyed in hellfire. My goodness, it's Ghost Rider. Fury of the beggars of death. So, okay, yeah. So we get a sort of character, a person, and then we get some kind of hardware. So this is a ship. Is that Prometheus? Which of course would be correct, wouldn't it, if it's fire based? I feel like I missed out then on what was the character in this one. Let's oh gosh, maybe I shouldn't have looked. What was the vehicle? I thought that was the weapons platform. Oh, yeah, so we had the tank, didn't we? Ender Jagara? Yeah, I'm going to skip that one. Oh, here we go. Oh, right. So this is was this it at the back of the book, and we're going into more detail because we've seen these, haven't we? These are the rocket pack. To the crown jewels of Icefell, the low roar. Soaring high above the battlefield, many grunts only ever hear them before their untimely deaths. Particularly effective among the icy peaks they call home, the low roar emerge from the talented nobility who have served their queen with utmost loyalty and obedience on the field of battle. I think we did see these, didn't we? Let's just have a quick scan. They were right at the back. It's just that these booklets go into more detail. Yeah, there we go. So this is very much a concise version, and we have more detail then in the appropriate faction books. Yes, I like these Rocketeers. They're cool. But what must be a plane of some description. Ah, there we go. The Seraphim. The booklet version, you believe, is a playable class. Ah! Aha! Yes, of course. Yes, it is, isn't it? Yes. So this class is only accessible once promoted. Okay, let's have a quick scan of the... I want to look at that singed... Oh no, the gas one. Let's look at the gas one. Yes, so you've got to be promoted, haven't you? On each of these. And let's have a quick scan. Right. No, that's cool. That's very cool. So where was the promotion? We have... Yeah, the soldier, battle scars, our vices. Here we go. So Games Master decides when to issue promotions. So promotions are awarded to grunts who have performed perilous deeds of great personal bravery or self-sacrifice. Deadly deeds so conspicuous as to clearly distinguish them from their comrades. When this happens, the following occurs. You get more HP, you get a stat change. Okay. And you merits, so you might get nothing, a war scroll, a random combat readiness shit. That's 5 shits tonight. A piece of Slagvara. When earning your second promotion, you are unable to return to active duty. Instead, you become a warlord. Pick any warlord order. Your PC can now be chosen in the warlord phase. And roll a new grunt. So as we said, your characters might either die or might be promoted if they're reasonably successful. So I'm assuming then it would be within your first set of promotions that potentially you could upgrade to one of those different classes, depending on what faction, I guess, you are fighting for. The factions, of course, we looked at the beginning, didn't we? So there we go. We got Countess Anphelia, and I'm going to go with that. The White Crowns. These are in the icy regions to the north. That's cool. I like that. That's really good. And what was the Warlord orders? Here we go. Let's have a number 1 to 12. Somebody. Let's find out if we did get promoted to being a Warlord. What would our order be? Every time a warlord leads and survives a successful mission, they are promoted. They gain a new warlord order of their choice, including faction-specific ones. If they are promoted again, they become a diplomat. Roll a special relationship to a random faction. 11. Here we go. Heaven renders an explosive shell of slag dust is launched into the pale heavens, reconfiguring the atmospheric filament. An acidic... Oh, hang on, I'm doing the wrong one. Soylent red. Dead allies are turned into rations. Enemies are not so tasty. Requires 2 enemy grunts per ration. Live prisoners are the best, each one providing 2 rations. Soylent red. Love it. Oh, that's very good. It's people! It's people! This is good. This is really good. I like it. I am thoroughly enjoying looking at these different ways of taking the Mörk Borg rule set and then customizing it, creating their own worlds. But I think this is a really cool idea of actually still linking to the original Mörk Borg and just taking it into the future with its slight twists. But something that's slightly recognisable in some instances and completely alien in others. this is great. I can't wait to sort of sit down and actually get a few people around the table to have a go at it. But I've really enjoyed looking at what is the types of things that are available in these collector's sets. There is, of course, just so much. I like the little badge here. I think that's quite cool. That's quite nice. Of course, it's very, very handy to have these character sheets. You'll go through a lot of those very quickly. We've got our squad sheets as well there. And we've got a nice map. We can put these stickers on, which I've not seen this before, and I'm assuming that's the reason behind them. They're a bit abstract, but that's cool. But they do actually have numbers on them, so they do refer. Oh, I wonder. We got F's, M's, W's, and B's. So is this going to be, in fact... Oh yeah, let's go with the W. I'm looking, it's that triangle symbol. See, I'm not just a pretty face. I reckon I can work this out. Is this going to be... Yeah, there we go. The W is the ice spell, isn't it? Because it's the white crowns. So, are these going to relate to... I think these are various points of interest. Yeah, we've got a plane there. Got a zeppelin. Okay, that's cool. Do we change the map slightly? Maybe so, maybe so. What does it say on the back of the box as far as these? Yes, campaign sticker sheets. There you go. So I'm actually, would it be the case of... Oh, here we go. Are these for the different missions? So let's look here. So what's number 1? W1? Ah yes, here we go. Yep, here we go. The Fall of Angers, and that's sticker W1. There we go. There we go. So we can place that on, but we've completed it. Now, where would that go? I like learning stuff while you guys are there with me as well. So this is Icefell, isn't it? Up at the top here. Does any of those stickers fit into that little... Doesn't specifically fit in, but I guess we would place them here, wouldn't we? Well, it depends where. Do we just mark them in? I don't want to obviously ruin any of these, so I'm gonna maybe just get a quick look here. So yeah, you've got your mission briefing, which would give you an idea of where you are fighting. Okay, that's definitely interesting. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. So yes, I think you basically, once you've done these, you maybe just mark them down on the map, so you've got a little bit of a guide as far as your progress, just to show where you've got up to. But what do we have here? That's like 8 missions. 8 missions within this campaign book, and of course there's 4 of them for the different factions that are within the game. So that's a lot of game. For sure. So, well, there you go. So that was Farewell to Arms Redux from Rivet Head Games. Hopefully you enjoyed taking that quick look through. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Is it the type of game that you would be interested to play? What type of character might you be? Go and take a look at the different archetypes that we took a look at, and leave it in the comments. Be interested to see what you'd go for. Next week, potentially, we are going to be looking at Symbaroum from Free League Publishing. I did say that was originally going to be for this week. I've just got a lot to read, and I'm trying to do it as quickly as possible, so we might end up looking at the starter set and actually just exploring it together, while I've been sort of concentrating looking at the core rule book. We'll see how things go. In just 2 weeks' time, there is going to be the UK Games Expo, and I'm preparing to visit the show. And I'll hopefully be able to share with you after that all of the fantastic games that were on show at the event, plus some teases for some upcoming RPG and board games. So that's what I'm sort of planning in the next couple of weeks on the channel, just to sort of give you a little bit of a heads up. So there we go. Thank you, as always, for your company this evening. Hope you enjoyed the game, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. But until then, bye for now.